Hi everyone, Esther here, and thank you so much for tuning to my channel. It's been a while since I made the last video, I think about a week and a half ago on the Mercury retrograde. We are still in the middle of Mercury retrograde, so I hope you guys doing well. And the information and recommendation I provide in my previous videos can be helpful for you. This video, it's about upcoming full moon. It's extremely important full moon, and I can explain to you why. We're going to observe the sky, and you will go together with me and to understand really what's happening in the sky. So you will, every time when, again, I want to remind you, every time when we observe the sky with our eyes, we have much deeper connection and understanding, and it's really healing as well to understand what's really happening directly in the sky. Just want to remind you guys, I do not practice Western astrology. My channel represents Sidereal system. It's very similar calculation to Indian astrology, Vedic astrology, but Vedic astrology, they don't touch mid-heavens. They don't really describe fixed sign, direct sky. So my practice, it's coming from really ancient technology. It's a really truthful astrology, what's really happening right now in the sky. Remember, Western astrology represent seasons, not necessarily what's really happening in the sky directly with the sign. And I will show you what I mean by that. For example, the full moon will be coming on 20th this month, on October 20th. We're going to have full moon, and full moon, it's going to be really you see it's coming from Pisces. Here I put 19. I specifically and purposely put 1 day prior to 20th, actual the moment of the full moon, because remember, the actual moment, it's very short moment of the full moon. But I really want to for you to see and observe where the full moon is coming from what vessel, so to say. It's coming from Pisces. And we already start to feel emotional. Usually you feel at least 54 hours before and 54 hours after full moon. And I'm going to move right now 1 day further, which is on October 20th. And we can see it's in the house of Aries full moon, but it's still touching sign of Pisces. Pisces is one of the biggest constellation. You can see it's really long. It's almost closer, I think, to 48 degrees. So every time we put in a frame of 30 degree each sign, we always need to remember it's not necessarily truth what's really happening in the sky. Now, just to remind us, we are not ordinary people in a sense. We just listen to astrology in order for us to gain information. If we practice Kabbalah, if we practice spiritual knowledge, we very, very powerful being. And therefore, we need to know how to, every time we have this information and we gain new information, we need to know how to receive and what's to do with information, not necessarily to be affected by it, but know how to manage the information. And this particular full moon, it's with very difficult aspects. And I don't like to use, extreme words, and it's going to be, heavy energy. It will be heavy energy, but the way how we're going to handle, the way how we can prepare ourselves, it really depends on us. Because the aspects and configuration, it's coming on October 20th, and it's really, remember, we're already going to feel even on October 18, 19 to 21st and 22nd, right? And because it's going to be in Aries, Sun is going to be in Libra. Okay, I'm showing you can see my arrow, and Moon is going to be in Aries, even though it's still touching Fish, and it's going to be aspect Sun. And it's not just aspect in, in Libra, we have Mars here as well, right? And Mars represent Aries. Okay, and we have a full moon in the Aries, and we have a opposition of Mars, which is coming from Aries. So it's going to be double energy. It's going to be even more. We're going to feel, and especially water sign, and as well fire sign is going to feel it. And water sign already feel even before, because it's coming from Pisces. And every time when moon in Pisces, it's creates some kind of inflammation in our emotions and as well in our body. So it's really important to remember on the full moon, I always recommend to drink enough water, stay away from alcohol, try not to eat any heavy food, try to stay in more alkaline diet. It's extremely important because what we eat, it's affecting our emotional body as well. It's affecting our nervous system. So instead to make it even heavy and harder on ourselves, on 1%, there's a specific tools we should apply as well, right? So another thing about the full moon can feel like a bit disruptive energy. It's, it's depends on our behavior. It give us a little bit of tension and even tiredness. You feel like you want to sleep more, and especially water sign, they usually experience headaches during the full moon and even before, especially now the weather change and everything. For women, especially with hormones as well, you probably can feel it as well. You may find yourself feeling a little bit anxious and emotional in a certain way, but again, it's full moon, we're aware of that, right? But what's really important for us to understand, this is really not ordinary full moon. I'm going to show you, I'm going to move a little bit more, so you're going to see exactly what's happening in the sky. Let me just come back over here. So because this full moon will have a position with Mars, which is Mars conjunct the sun, uh, globally, people feel more on the edge. And you really feel the energy, right? And another thing, it's actually squaring Pluto. Okay, so let me show you the Pluto. We have a Pluto, and don't forget, Pluto, it's coming from the energetical of Mars, coming from the energetical force of Pluto because of Scorpio. Now, Pluto is the planet of sudden changes. And what's going to happen, one of the very, very important thing I want to mention right now, and perhaps you should put in your calendar as well, what's going to happen in this full moon, we're going to see the full effect and results in the end of February and beginning of March, especially March 3rd. It's going to be one of the difficult days of the whole entire year. And I will show you after. I will put the March 3rd of 2022, so you will see what I'm talking about. But the results will be there. It's almost like a mirror effect because it's going to be Mars with Pluto, and it's going to be very difficult configuration. So therefore, it's extremely important for this full moon to behave our best, to study, not to get to any confrontation, to any conflicts. If there's something you want to straight and to, so to say, to clear the air with someone, it's not a good time at all. Because when it's squaring Pluto, and Pluto has a tendency to make changes without even asking our permission. So if, for example, you've been thinking to separate from somebody or to have some changes, especially on a personal level, I recommend for you to put a lot of wisdom and patience and thoughts, and perhaps sometimes not to do anything and see how things can play sometimes on his own better than we can involve. Okay, it's really important because it's Pluto represent destruction and it's represent the same time renovation. So you can always ask, renovation can look a little bit as a destruction sometimes. When you're doing the renovation in the house, you feel like, oh my God, you can really find things. You feel like it's in, you not really feel in peace because, you can really find yourself in the organization's, environment. But this is the Pluto. What Pluto does, it creates some kind of renovation inside of us. And because we have it's square with Moon and with Aries, and it's square with the Mars as well. This is extra fire energy, and it's really conflicting energy. Okay, so I'm just telling, I'm one height from you guys. So this is the time, if you have Zohar at home, you already should study and scan Zohar every day, but in a full moon especially, if you practice natural medicine and herbs, it's really excellent time as well to have like really herbal teas and to do some meditation, to take a really warm bath, perhaps, just really nourish yourself, just really to let it. And if you see things coming towards you without your permission, you didn't even want to be part of the conflict, try to understand why. What is the bigger picture? How you make this transition more peaceful, but still productive? Because remember, it's not enough for us just to step out and just to ignore. If things need to be changed, Pluto will make those changes. But it's better you will work with Pluto instead the Pluto will make the changes on his own. I'm just, this is the way it is. Let's say you will desire to make some changes at your work or with your personal relationship. Make sure you really, really put some thoughts, patience, and wisdom, because this is really interesting fact about Pluto. And because together with Mars and together with the moon, and moon has ability, to make more inflammation in matter. When you add wisdom, thoughts, and patience, Pluto start to work with you. And what really, really important, the way we are going to experience this, because the sun, moon, this, we'll see the final, we will see the final effect, like I told you, in end of February and March. And there's another giant, another two giants involved in this situation. It's like unbelievable. And this full moon, I have to tell you, this is probably one of the most important and difficult full moon of 2021. This is what's happened. And I will tell you another thing what's happening here. Because the moon staying with Uranus, you're going to have, when it's going to move, it's going to be staying with Uranus in the same house. Look what's happened. So we have moon here and we have Uranus, okay? I'm right now talking to you like astrologer to astrologers. So we're not just, observing and getting information. We really need to understand how the energy play inside. Now, moon together with Uranus in the same house, and it's going to be there until October 22nd. Now, Saturn, which is really, really important as well, okay, Saturn is going to aspect Uranus and moon at the same time. Now, what is the Saturn and what is the Uranus? They're both big giants. And for them, it's take time from them to move from one house to another house, not for moon. Moon every 2.5 days, she's jumping from one sign to another sign. But for this, in this couple of days, literally until 24th, I would say, because moon is going to activate energy of Saturn and Uranus. And what is the Uranus? Uranus is revolutionary, sudden changes. It's the masses, it's the people who wants to make a changes, revolution. And what is the Saturn? Saturn in Hebrew, Shabta, it represents Shabbat, and it represents wisdom, and it represents restriction and structure. So what Saturn, and Saturn represent government as well. So Uranus will have such a neat emotional, it's going to be like literally fire from inside. We want to fight for our freedom, for our rights. And Saturn would tell us, no, okay, let's see what structure come with that. Let's see how we can, what kind of like suppressed restriction. You're gonna see, guys, it can happen. Some events can happen really. Then we need to put a lot of prayers and set a lot of energy to the world and to those people who's not really connected to spirituality, and especially to our leaders. We need to understand. Yes, we can go and we can say what we think, we can stand for our freedom, we can speak up, but there's nothing more powerful. Our personal transformation within us, the way how we do our prayers, how we send the energy. If, for example, leaders of your country doing things and according to what you see, it's not really beneficial for masses and for people, it's really important to send a lot of energy and healing energy to the souls, and talk to the soul and ask soul to open to the bigger picture. Because yes, I agree, some of the leaders, they probably, some of them psychopaths. I don't even afraid to say that, because the decision they make have nothing to do with humanity. But we need to ask, how come we have those leaders? Who create them? How we create this energy to create? Because This always, we all one soul. We cannot just blame them. What we need to do with our personal transformation is more we transform, is more we can see bigger picture, is better we affect everything around us, because we're a ball of energy, we're walking energy, and we're walking gods. We have a spark of God inside of us. We shouldn't underestimate the power we have within us. So one of the tools I always want to remind us, if we really want real changes, the changes really comes from right place. First, we need to send the energy to those individuals who make it, who make crucial decisions, which is affecting our lives and future generation as well. So this configuration will create a clash, between people, between masses, between simple people, and between government. So let me remind you again what's really happening with this full moon. Okay, let's go through this again. So we have full moon. Look at my arrow. It's coming from Pisces. It's coming from emotional place. And now it's suddenly appear together with Aries, which is the clash of energy. It's Aries coming from energy of fire, and it's coming from energy of Gvura. And Moon represent Chesed, and as well Malchut, the world we live in, right? And then we have opposition of another two giants. We have opposition of Mars, and we have opposition which is Mars together with Sun. And remember, when Mars together with Sun, it's like a warrior. It's like a warrior on a fiery horse, right? And we're still in the middle of Mercury retrograde, and it can create another confusion and illusion of certain events and the way how we see things. And then we have on, I will move again on 21st and 22nd. Look what's happened on 21st and 22nd. It's literally Moon conjunct in Uranus, and then his aspect with Saturn, okay? And then we have a Pluto as well, which is Pluto create the square with Mars and with Moon, okay? So let's move a little bit forward, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen until end of the month, because October, really the difficult aspects is it will be starting slowly from 15, very soon, in a couple of days. The energy will be very intense until the full moon, and then after the full moon, what's going to happen? Moon will stay until 23rd, and then on 23rd it's moving actually to Taurus, okay? And it's going to be in opposition with Venus, so stay away from personal conflict with loved ones. And then in another 2 days, let's see what's happening with Moon. On October, this is really important. I want to show you something. On October 26th, Moon going to be in Gemini. And Moon in Gemini, it's Moon doesn't like to be in Gemini, because Gemini represent Mercury. It's quick thinker, it's everything quick, and Moon like when we give her time, when we give her nourishment, and it's not really place nourishment for her. So for example, so just for you to know, guys, you Aries and Pisces, this full moon you're going to feel the most, as well Scorpion and Libras will feel the most, and Cancer, I don't need to mention you. You considering every time when we have full moon, it's like every time for you guys, it's like a Christmas, okay? In the opposite way. So Cancerians, if you have moon, especially moon in Cancer, you're definitely born with big mission. You're born with the biggest mission of all, because you feel and understand and energy in this dimension more than any other sign. I'm just telling you right now the way it is. So moon in Cancer, it's one of the most unbelievable position for moon, most challenging if you're not in spirituality. But if you're in spirituality, it's literally can make you righteous soul if you really know how to use this position. Now let's continue a little bit more. So this is on 20th. Then we have 2 days on 25th and 24th, 25th Taurus. Be aware Moon will be bother you a little bit emotionally. Then we have Gemini. We have 26 and 27 for Gemini. And then we have Cancer, end of the October. Now, this is where I want to explain to you something, what's going to happen end of the October. The moon going to stay 3 days from 28 until end of October in Cancer. And it's going to have opposition of Pluto and opposition of Saturn. Those of you who understand astrology, so we have Jupiter here too. Jupiter will help because Jupiter, you can see Jupiter here in the transition is going to help us only if we're going to connect to spirituality. If we're going to study, if we're going to really understand bigger picture, we're going to bring wisdom to everything what we see. And one thing I want to mention of, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about energy of Mashiach, Messiah. It's really here right now. It's already here. It's just because, we right now before big transformation, huge transformation. We already enter, it's like between doors. We are in a corridor. It's most difficult place to be because you don't really see the future, how it will play, but you cannot be in the past how it was before. Okay, so when you between the doors, what's really important this moment, it's completely trust the light and to understand the only remedy can help you in the future and will make you successful is the remedy of love. I'm going to repeat again. Only those of us who understand the importance of forgiveness, of love, how to love someone else for no reason, how to accept other person for no reason, this energy can transform the whole entire universe. We don't even understand the power of love. Whatever darkness we see is happening right now, whatever we see right now, all this illusion, Satan, other place playing with us. Why? Because we're coming from big illusion. The way how we used to live, how we treat each other, how we treat all other kingdoms, mineral kingdom, vegetable kingdom, animal kingdoms, we didn't take care of properly. And we came from these kingdoms. We all, when we die, our physical body going inside of the Mother Earth, and it's again become part of the minerals, and then cow eats, grass and everything. I'm just telling you on a physical level. Yes, our soul, it's infant, we're coming back again to the source, to rejuvenate, to come back, depends on the level what you really did here. But I can't stress enough the power of love. This is number one remedy. If you really understand what is really final redemption, what is really Mashiach, it's not about who's right, who's wrong, who decide to use certain medicine to stay on this, join the, join the COVID period. And those of us who decide not to, it's not even about that anymore. It's about how you just can be as merciful to each other, how you can love other person for no reason, how you can open your heart as more as possible. This energy, if you're going to put this out to the universe, if especially to those of us who's not easy sometimes to forgive, not easy sometimes to accept other person's opinion. It's not even about accepting other person's opinion. It's about not to send destructive energy to other person. Let other person to go through his own process. Because remember, when both of us sit on the different chairs, we observe completely different view from our view. Therefore, we cannot, we need to try at least to understand other person. So this is really, really important. So for you guys to understand, literally start in next couple of days, the energy going to switch more to emotional, to more aggressive energy, astrologically, but it's not that it doesn't mean we have to switch. We don't need to be slaves of this energetical force. We're powerful enough to control. And when we know it's snowing outside or it's some natural disasters, we're not going there because we know this is not time to be outside. So same thing here. I'm providing you the information. I'm showing you the sky. You powerful beings, you need to observe the sky. You need to see what's happening. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to, to block you or to, so to say, to program you how to think and what to do. No, but now you see what's happening in the sky. It's not going to be easy. Therefore, this is the time to apply your skills. Okay, let's go a little bit further. We're going on 29. You can see it's still in moon still in Cancer, and look at the opposition is the bouquet. Thank God we have here Jupiter. But again, Saturn is one of my favorite planets. If you connect to Shabbat, if you connect to the wisdom of Shabbat and Saturday, if you study, if you really know how to connect, Saturn represents Shabbat, it represents Saturday, it represents structure, it represents organization skills, it represents truth. Saturn cannot stand if people lie, if you pretend, and what is your intention. If you're in the right path, there's nothing for you to be afraid of Saturn. He's going to opposite, he's going to support you. And Pluto here, Pluto have no mercy. If this anything needs to go, it will go. So it's better for you to accept this and to be peaceful with your own transformation and what it's coming. You know, we're going to change even the way how we eat. We're going to change how much we eat. You should be prepared for that. And if food represents for you something really important, you need to evaluate that because our future is different. We're going to eat less. We will need to be more self-sustained. The money is going to represent absolutely different energy. It's for a while we're going to experience a lack in order for us to appreciate the further, you know, what we're going to have. We're going to have different level of appreciation. Let's move forward a little bit for another. So we have October. There you go. So on October 30th, we have Moon going to Leo, and he's going to stay there until November 1st. Now, for you, Leos, you have opposition. You will have opposition here, you know, planet of confusion, Neptune. Okay, so Neptune is excellent planet for, you know, art and for musician. And forget Leo coming from the place of art and musician in music, right? Because Leo, it's coming from fifth house, and fifth house has a lot of similarity with Neptune. But Neptune at the same time, because Neptune touching in this combination of one of the Pisces, even though you can see it's an Aquarius, but it's still touching the Pisces. This Pisces called bird. We have two Pisces. One Pisces called really fish, another bird. This one loves to talk too much and as well to lie. And now we have Neptune here, which is Neptune increase the energy of lying, imagination, pretending. So especially for you, Leo, be careful how much what you talk, what you speak, and how you speak, and what information you try to pass to other people, and make sure you really talk, walk the talk. You know, it's really important for all of us. Actually, this energy will affect, and because Leos represent as well people in charge and government, we're gonna see a lot of interesting information. In a sense, it's going to be more lies, more pretending, more, you know, they're gonna try to bring some information it's not really accurate. It's going to happen, especially for another few days of November. So I'm going to leave you guys with that information. Okay, so we just I recommend for you to come back to my video again and again and just look how I'm going with the wheel, and I'm showing you what's happened directly in the sky. And what's really, really important, don't just look at the sign here. You can see, if you zoom out, you can see even what kind of signs it's touching, because I'm going to show you something here. You see Cancer? Cancer, it's one of Cancer and Libras. It's one of the smaller, it's a short sign, right? Cancer, I think it's like 22 degrees only, but it's a seat in the whole house of 30 degrees. So inside of the Cancer, we can touch Leo, we can touch here Gemini a little bit, right? But what's really important for us for this period of time, start from Aries, when full moon will come in, we're going to come out from the full moon. The full moon effect, we're going to feel more still until end of the month, in first days of November. And I showed you why, because we have a lot going on here in opposition, and opposition extremely important because it's like a mirror reflection of the energy, what's really happening. And remember, everything what I told you on the full moon, how you're going to behave, what's going to happen, the answers you're going to get in the end of February. Oh, by the way, I did promise you to show you the February. End of the February and March. Let me show you what's going to happen there. Just kind of preview for you guys. So I remember when I look at this, I said, my God, I don't really like that, but it is what it is. We're going to have, let's do March 1st, 2022. Let's do it fresh. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Look what's happened here. Okay. So we're going to have Mars, Pluto conjunct each other. This is exactly what I say. You remember I told you this full moon, we have a Pluto and Mars in square. So then they go in the beginning of March, end of the February, they're going to conjunct each other and we're going to have a, so it's going to be very interesting to say the least. It's the same combination we have on the second war too, the war too. Okay. But I'm not saying we're going to have second war too. The world, the war, it's already, it doesn't need to have on a physical level like it's used to. Look what's happened right now, cyber war, people getting sick, misinformation, it's the chaos. But what's really, really important for us, despite what's happened, because we are in a transition to the new world, to the new understanding, new reality, and new consciousness, we need to prepare ourselves, our own consciousness, especially our subconscious. Then what we have right now, what we see, it's total illusion. Some of you will say, well, Esther, illusion, but it's affecting us. It's affecting our financial, it's affecting our kids. Yes, but it's not supposed to affect us in deep inside. We need to understand before you entering, before sunrise, we're coming from the dawn. Before the dawn, it's darkness, right? Like my teacher always used to say that. Okay, guys, so I hope this information can help you to navigate your daily life, to understand what's happening. And I'm looking forward for next interaction with you. I'm wishing you guys many, many blessings. All the best. Bye-bye.